الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة وبعث وبيت بالله. kalau imam ini imam.
Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2 1.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him as He should be praised, and we ask for His help, because without Him we are helpless. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِهِ وَنَتَوَكَّلُ عَلَيْهِ. And we believe in Him, and we do what we can, but at the end of the day, we place our trust upon Him. وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ شُرُورِ أَنفُسِنَا وَمِنْ سَيِّئَاتِ أَعْمَالِنَا. And we seek refuge with Allah from two things. One, from the evil that's within ourselves, and two, from our shortcomings. مَنْ يَهْدِهِ اللَّهُ فَلَا مُضِلَّ لَهُ وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. Whosoever Allah guides, there is no one that can misguide that person. And whosoever Allah misguides, there is no one that can guide that person. وَنَشْهَدُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَنَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. And we bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the final messenger of Allah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Allah says in the Quran, O you who believe, be mindful, be conscious, and be fearful of Allah, and don't leave this world. Do not die except as in a state of Islam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. O you who believe, be mindful, be conscious, and be fearful of Allah, and speak in a way that is just, that is the truth, that is to the point. And if you do so, then Allah will make your deeds virtuous, and He will forgive your past sins. And whosoever obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger has certainly achieved a great success. There's a story of a youth growing up here in Southern California, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this youth, he had his own custom-made version of Islam. He would pray when he would want to pray. And when he would pray in English. Because he would say, I don't know Arabic, so I'm going to pray in the language that I know. He would hear hadith, or he would hear people talk about hadith. And if it didn't make sense to him, he would say, I don't know if that hadith actually is right. I don't know if it actually exists. And so this person had his custom-made version. And as he went through schooling here, he gets into college. He takes a philosophy course. And in the course, there's a book that the teacher recommends. And he reads that book. It's called How to Think About Weird Things. And after reading that book and after taking that class, he realizes actually there is no God, and God doesn't really exist. So I'm just here in this life, trying to do the best I can. And so as he's going in college, right, he's taking his classes, he's trying to figure himself out, and he is Muslim. His parents, he was born in Islam, his parents were Muslim. So when he's walking around campus, the MSA, the Muslim Student Association, or MSU, they would see this person walk by, and he says the first experience he had with MSA was during Palestine Awareness Week. And during that time, there was obviously protest on one side. You had, the Muslims protesting. On the other side, you had the Zionists protesting. And so there was yelling back and forth. So he walks in the middle of all of this. He looks at this stuff and he says, yeah, I definitely don't want to be part of you guys. And the people, they see him and they notice that he looks, Muslim. Because sometimes when you're talking to somebody or when you see somebody walking around, you can kind of tell, right? So they actually go up to him and they say, hey, what's your name? And he tells them his name and he says, hey, you're Muslim then, right? He's like, yeah, kind of. You should come join the MSA. And he's like, nah, no way, I don't think I want to do that. So as he's in college, he meets other non-Muslim friends. He meets an Armenian friend and some others that are into music. So he really gets into music. Electronica or EDM, electronic dance music. He gets into all of that. He starts going to nightclubs. He starts going to raves. Only for the music, because he's really interested in that. Because that's what his friends are doing. Reflection, side point, as I'm telling the story. The friends that you get that are around you will have a huge impact on the decisions and the actions that you will do. So this person, again, gets into music, but he's not one of those people that, drinks alcohol or does drugs. Right? He hasn't gotten that level. He understands that he doesn't want to do anything that's going to mess up his brain, that's going to impair his intellect. Because he's seen some of his friends that are taking the drugs to such an extent that they can't even think properly. And him majoring in computer science, he understands that he needs to study hard. He needs to work hard, right, to get this degree. And he sees his friends when they do this stuff in such an extent that they actually have to drop out of school because they can't focus, right? Because they've impaired their intellect after doing those things. But there is something inside of him that just doesn't feel right. He says, I just don't understand what's going on. He gets a little frustrated. He says, I'm just going to quit school because number one, you're supposed to study hard, but number two, I see my friends that are in the same major as me, but they're doing other things, and they're really, hurting themselves. This doesn't make any sense. So he says, I'm going to live my own life and live life the way I want to, and I just don't want to go to school. So he decides, he tells his parents, I'm going to quit college, I'm not going to go to college anymore, and he starts investing on the side. That's where he uses his parents' money. So his parents are actually well off. So they're coming from a very affluent community. So he borrows money from them, starts investing, because that's how he's going to make his money. And so one day he says, and this is important, one day on a Friday specifically, he wakes up in the morning, frustrated with life. And he says, I'm done. He opens his investment account and he realizes that he lost more than 50% of his investment. Overnight, there's a crash in one of his investments. He's gone. And he was trading on margin, so meaning he was borrowing money, so he's actually owes more than what he had investing. So he is upset. He is frustrated. He's like, what? I'm done? You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to leave my house and I'm just going to run away and I'm going to just live somewhere. I will figure it out. So Friday morning, he's getting up, he gets ready, he checks his bank accounts to make sure he has his money in there. He grabs his keys, he's about to go, and his mom, downstairs, she yells, can you take out the trash? Hurry, I need your help, take out the trash. He's like, come on, out of all days, my mom has never asked me to take out the trash. As I said, they're coming from a well family, so they had maids to do the housework. Out of all days, you're going to ask me to do this? And she was actually having an event. Some of the ladies were going to come over to her house, and they're going to have a tafsir class. So she was trying to get the house ready for all these people to come. So he's like, I don't want to take out the trash. He's about to go, he gets outside the house, he puts the key in his car, and he starts his car, and the event's going on. The ladies have come, only to look in his rearview mirror that somebody's blocking him in the driveway. One of the aunties parked the car right behind him to block him, and he couldn't leave. He is super frustrated. So he goes back inside the house, and he asks, which one of you aunties parked right behind me? I need to leave. Move your car now. And so one of them says, oh, sorry, it was me. So moves the car, and he's going. And so one other thing about this person, as he gets into music, he also gets into street racing. So he has a brand new Lexus IS 300, and he's racing with some of his friends as well. So this day, on Friday, as he's going, he takes the 405. So the 405 south going all the way down. His plan is, I'm just going to go down, leave the country, go to Mexico. I'll figure it out when I get there, but I have cash in my bank account, so I'll just be fine. So he's driving. And as he's going on the 405, which turns into the 5, and he's driving, it's raining a little bit. There's a Nissan 300ZX. They don't make these cars anymore. It's a sports car, which was early 2000s. Passes by him, cuts him off, gives the racing signals, and goes. He's like, wow, out of all days, did it have to be today? You really want to race with me? I have so many things happen to me this morning, and out of all days, today would have to be the day? All right, let's bring it. Let's go. So he decides he wants to race. So they start racing on the 5. They're going back and forth, right? So the 5, if you've ever been to San Diego, if you're ever taken from LA to San Diego, it's not really like a straight route, right? There are turns, there are curbs or so you can take on the freeway. So he's going on the 5, and it's raining a little bit. He decides he wants to disable traction control. And don't ever do that if you're ever driving, right? That's the worst thing you can do. So he disables traction control, he's going really fast, and he says, I'm going to take this guy on a turn. A turn is coming, I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to cut him off, and that's it. I'm done, I won. He goes super fast, and again, keep in mind, for those of you who know anything about cars, right? Lexus is a luxury brand, right? The other person, the car that he was driving was a sports car. So when you have a luxury car and you drive it really fast, what's going to happen is that it actually starts to shake. So he's driving really fast. He's going to take this turn. It's raining a little bit. He's disabled traction control. And as he takes the turn, what happens, his car spins and really makes a U-turn on the same side of the freeway. He hits the center divider and also 3 other cars right next to him, and a huge accident. And he's going super fast. So when you think about this, the first thing that you might think of, oh man, he probably, got really hurt, probably maybe in a coma in the hospital. So he wakes up. He just realized what happened. And then he's looking around himself, he's looking at his body to see what's going on, is everything okay? And he realizes everything is fine. Like, yes, he might have a scratch here and there, but his body parts are fine, everything's okay, and he feels perfectly okay. He gets out of the car because he knows he's in big, big trouble on what he just did. And he looks at the other people. There's a cop there getting the report, the police report from everybody else. The cop sees him. He pretends like he's hurt, but really he's not. He comes to him and he says, I know how fast you were going. We have witness reports that say that you are going X miles per hour. You kid, I'm going to make sure you go to jail. I'm going to make sure that these other people press charges against you and then you go to jail. He is scared out of his mind. He knows that life is pretty much over, right? People could press charge against him and he could be in for a long time. And so he's 19, 20 years old. This is where his life could end. And he goes to the hospital, he's sitting in the room just with the shock of how upset his parents are going to be, of what people are going to say to him, what's going to happen to him in the future. And at that moment, he makes a dua. And check out this dua. He says, Oh Allah. Or actually he says, Oh God, right? He's speaking in English. He says, Oh God, if you exist, if you're out there, I really want you to help me out. If you help me out of this mess that I got myself in, I promise I will make an effort to search for you. Look at this dua. He didn't say, Ya Allah, please help me. If you help me, I will become the most righteous person ever. It was a conditional dua. He said, Ya Allah, oh God, if you get me out of this, then I will make an attempt to search for you. I will try. And if I don't get it, then I tried. It was a conditional dua. And as he walks out of this hospital, he's fine. Nothing wrong with his body, nothing wrong with his brain. He gets a traffic point here and there. He has to go take traffic school. He has to pay a fine here and there. But no charges against him. He didn't go to jail, and he's fine. That moment for that person was the turning point of their life. That person today now is still here in Southern California, runs his own institute, and has students where he teaches people about Islam. He has an entire course. And the auntie that he yelled at, or the people in the MSA that were trying to get him into MSA, those people now, they take his classes. They attend his lectures. And so what I wanted to get at from this story, it's a long story, but there's a point that I wanted to try to make. Allah says in the Quran, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. This ayah in the Quran, some of the scholars, they call it the verse of hope. Some of the Sahabas actually, they would refer to it as the verse of hope. Basically, Allah is saying, "Oh, my servants or my slaves, right? Those that have wronged themselves, do not despair. Do not ever despair on the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah is the most forgiving, most merciful." Allah changed this person's life when this person made a conditional dua. What would happen to you if you made a sincere dua to Allah? What would Allah do to you, right? If you come to Him with the hands out, with tears down your face, sincerely asking Him for whatever you need. That's the point that I wanted to make. And we have a blessed month that is coming up in a few days. And this is the best time to be sincere, to really have that turning point of your life, and to come to Him with sincerity. And inshallah in the next khutbah, we'll talk about some of the things for the next few months, for the next month that's coming. وَأَقُولُ قَوْلِ هَذَا وَأَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You all have probably heard, many khutbahs coming up to Ramadan, or many lectures, or many reminders about Ramadan. But I just wanted to mention one thing. There's something I saw on social media posted by Sheikh Abdul Nasir Jangda the other day. And he said that Imam Ghazali rahimahullah, he said about Ramadan and fasting that there are 3 layers of fasting. The first layer of fasting is the fasting that you're abstaining from the food and water, right? That you can't, the stuff that legally, if you were to do those things, it would make your fast invalid. That's the first level of fasting. The second level of fasting is you fasting from, hearing things that you shouldn't hear, looking at things that you shouldn't hear, or going to places that you shouldn't go to. That's the second layer of fasting. And then he says the third layer of fasting is that you take this month, and every single second of this month, what you do is you spend it only for the worship of Allah, right? You are not distracted by anything in this dunya, anything around you, and your main focus, you are laser focused in taking advantage of this month and worshipping Allah. Maybe this year was very tough for us, and it probably was for some of us. Last Ramadan, we weren't in the masajids, right? COVID really took a toll on us. Maybe things are going really sideways in our life. It could be our jobs, it could be our families. But this is the month in a few days coming up to really recharge ourselves, recharge our spiritual battery. And so I ask each and every single one of you to really, make a plan going into it, and then make sure you evaluate yourself as the month goes. Really be sincere in your dua. Just like how that person, that individual, made one conditional dua and Allah changed the life of this person. Really, maybe in the last third of the nights, in the last 10 nights, stand up to your Lord and ask Him whatever you want. And don't ever despair from His mercy. Don't ever despair from His mercy. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us reach Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us take benefit of the month of Ramadan. We ask Allah to accept our fasting that we do in Ramadan, our salah in Ramadan, our Quran in Ramadan. We ask Allah to bless us and help us in such a way that we come out of Ramadan with better Muslims, inshallah. We ask Allah to bless our parents. We ask Allah to bless our community. We ask Allah to take this disease away from us and to return things back to normal. And we ask Allah to bless our children, our future generation. We ask Allah to raise Islam, to really honor Islam and the Muslims all over the world. All the Muslims that are suffering all across the world, Ya Rabb. As this Ramadan is approaching, we ask you to help them and really make this a beneficial month for all of us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم زينا بزينة القرآن وأكرمنا بكرامة القرآن وأدخلنا الجنة مع القرآن. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واستووا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين ومن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. شهر رمضان شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. We want to thank our dear Khatib for giving such a beautiful reminder of the transformation that is possible at any single moment with a moment, I should say, of ikhlas or sincerity. Alhamdulillah. Just a couple of announcements. First and foremost, inshallah ta'ala is speculated to Ramadan will begin. Obviously, the first day of fasting is possibly, depending on what calculations you go with, Tuesday here at Masjid Umar ibn al-Khattab. We will begin Taraweeh Monday night. Inshallah ta'ala, just let everybody know. The postings will be in the email, so if you haven't subscribed to our email listing, please do. Couple things. There will be iftar on Fridays and Saturday. So Friday, we will hand out probably around about 6 o'clock. We will actually hand out the actual plates. It's a grab and go, so you just drive up. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll hand you you can park, and then we'll hand you the actual food, and then you can go from there and heat it back up at your house, just for safety matters at this time. Also, too, at the moment of actually breaking the fast, obviously, the masjid will be open for Maghrib, and there will be some dates and some milk, but you just eat the dates, the milk, break the fast, come pray, and then we'll have to, close the masjid. We can't stick around here at this time, inshallah ta'ala. Also, too, we have boxes of dates. So we have 4-pound box and 9-pound, not 11 yet. So the 4-pound box of dates is $20, and the 9-pound box of dates is $30. Okay, oh, no, I'm sorry, it's 30 and 40. I'm sorry, I mixed up the prices there. Inshallah ta'ala, you can talk to Abdullah, but they're going to go fast. So please go to the table if you can get them, because they're all going to be gone pretty soon. Also, too, just be on there's going to be a posting on the board on the specifications of Ramadan when it comes to timing. So the Isha prayer, it will start at 9:55, and so that means that the parking lot will be open a little bit before then, and then the conclusion of the whole program will be at 10:55. Okay, just so everybody knows. And also, too, after every single salat, there'll be a Quran recitation, and obviously our dear brother Musa, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve him, does the recitation of Quran during that time. So if you have any comments or questions, you can come and address me after. Also, too, we need your donations generously. And if anybody still wants to sponsor some of the iftars, we need that. Inshallah ta'ala, we need all the help that we possibly can get. And the capacity will actually be changing, so that everything here may be changing some. So you'll see that because the state has allowed, obviously, the capacity to go up to about 50% now. Inshallah ta'ala. So we'll be able to accommodate more people. But if you have any questions or comments, you can contact us on the email, on the website, or you can come up and directly ask us, inshallah ta'ala. So assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and thank you for everybody for watching, and thank you for your donations and du'as, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive everybody who passed away this week, and please keep us in your du'as, and inshallah ta'ala, we hope to see you here at Ramadan, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the last parts of your Sha'ban blessed like never before. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.